What is up, guys? It is me, Jude, back for another season of Jude Interviews. Happy New Year, by the way. I hope you're having a wonderful February, and I hope you had a wonderful January, and I hope you had a wonderful New Year. Now, to bring in the new year, I want to introduce someone who has had plays on BBC Introducing, Plus One Radio, and Reform Radio. It's none other than T.Fewdo. T.Fewdo, how are you, man?
Yeah, I'm here, live, and all good, man. I'm just
Awesome.
all every day for being here, you know. Yeah, man.
That exactly, man. And as well, I want to start this episode off in a way which will make sense to you in just a second. So, hallo, wie geht's? Willkommen auf Jude Interviews. Ich hoffe, du hast ein net Jahre. So, the reason I did that is because I saw you have a post and it was in German, and I'm wondering, can you speak German? Because I was going through your page and I saw you doing a cipher in French. So can you speak German and French and English, or was the German just for a bit of fun?
So initially, when I first started rapping, the first language apart from English that I decided to incorporate in my style was German. So I'm not fluent in German, but I've always liked languages, and I learned it in school, but I had to relearn, because as with languages, if you don't speak it, you just forget. So I had to basically, yeah. So I just know just basic words pretty much, and I understand the basic. Same with French. I rap more in French, but I probably understand more German, which is a bit silly. But I probably a bit more German. But yeah, I'm not fluent, but I'd love to be. You know, that's an aspiration of mine. I think languages are just amazing.
And as with that as well, with your French cipher, was it fun to do? Was it, with the writing process to that, was it kind of difficult having to switch from English to English to French, or did it just come second nature to you in a way?
With rapping in French, you can't really play with the pronunciation as much, because obviously in France the pronunciation has to be impeccable, otherwise it's a problem. So
yeah.
with English, you can play with the pronunciation to make it rhyme, but with French, you can't do that. So the hardest was finding the words that rhyme. That was very difficult. But normally I'll put a few words into a verse, but most of it was in French. That was very difficult. It took a long time for me to do that. But
I watched the cipher on your Instagram page, and you practically shut it down. And with your French rapping and your English rapping, I want to go into your actual style. So I've seen that you've done a bit of drill, I've seen you've done a bit of trap, and I've seen you've done a bit of grime. So which category would you fit yourself into?
I'll start off with what I started off initially when I first started rapping. So I first jumped on grime. As I'm a grime kid, I grew up on grime. So that was what was most comfortable for me. And then I started doing hip hop maybe 6 months in. And then I realized that I like both. They're good for different things, you know. So I don't know how I would categorize myself. I like performing grime the most live.
Yeah.
And vibes, and everyone gets everyone going. But I think man, it's just everyone's just moving, and it's great energy. But for hip hop, I think it's more of a, just bop to it, slow BPM, more similar to your heart rate. Just bounce to it and listen more in depth to what they're saying.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot as well with grime. When you say a bar, it connects with someone on such a level. They're just like, oh, so is it like that every time you perform?
I mean, yeah, with grime, it's just getting the reload is the best feeling ever.
Yeah.
When everyone's in the room and the energy's just building up, and it gets to that point where the selector's like, let's come back. It's fantastic, man. That feeling is, it's priceless, man.
I can tell. And I know, alongside your rapping side, I know that you dabble and focus on spoken word and poetry. So what got you into the spoken word and the poetry side? Because obviously I can tell you love writing because you do your rapping, but what got you into the spoken word? Because spoken word's kind of soft, but it has such a passion and a tone with it. So what got you into that?
I'll be honest, people probably don't even know this, but I actually started with spoken word first before I was rapping.
Oh, wow.
First. Because I've always been interested in putting words together and expressing yourself, through that avenue. But I never really took it seriously until I think 6 years ago. I started doing a bit of spoken word. And from there, I realized that I really like it, and it's just something that just releases endorphins and it feels great to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's really nice, man. That's really nice. And with those three combined, would you say when it comes to spoken word, when it comes to poetry, when it comes to rapping, do you prefer to sit down and write it and think about it, or would you just like to be given a topic and would you like to freestyle with it? What's kind of your vibe?
That's a good question, to be fair. With because they're all different. Freestyling, I'll go for each one. Freestyling on grime and drill is very difficult because of how quick it is. I can do it, but it's not to the
Mm,
same extent. It's very very tricky.
mm.
But with hip hop, it's a bit easier. But obviously, spoken word would be the easiest because you don't have to conform to an instrumental.
Yeah.
I'd say
Mm.
spoken would be the easiest. Hip hop would
Oh,
be
that's
most fun, and Lord Harvey, I'd say.
Now, as well as that, I have gone through your Spotify and I've gone through your songs, a few of your songs. You have singles to EPs to a few albums to ciphers. Like your Spotify is stacked. And I also went through your Linktree as well, and I saw the collaboration you did with Radman TV, and I loved your vibe. I loved your energy. So, out of all of the songs on your Spotify, all the songs on your YouTube, all the songs on your Linktree, which one is your favorite? That's probably going to be a difficult question, but
Let me make it difficult for myself. Normally, I'd find it difficult, but I will pick one. I will pick one. If I could only listen to one song that I've released out of all the catalog, I forget the unreleased
yeah,
because unreleased is going to be what you've done
mm,
very recently, so I wouldn't compare them to. So if
yeah.
I was to pick one, music minded, definitely.
Well, obviously, he's just said music minded, so you have to definitely 100% go and listen to that, and I'll make sure I leave that in the bio as well. I want to also go into we actually met at the Godiva Festival because I was hosting on the Resonate stage and you were performing. So I want to ask, was that your first festival?
I would say so, to be honest. Yeah, it is my first
Mm.
festival. I don't know if I've done one before. Let me think. Yeah, it's probably the first one.
Mm. But let me tell you, you did so well. You had, I don't know if you could see from where I could, but you had the crowd on such vibes, such energy. They were jumping, they were screaming, they were shouting. So were you nervous to actually go onto the stage, or when you went up, did you just feel, did you just feel some mad energy when you went up?
I'll keep it 100. Every time I perform, I don't get extremely nervous, but I do get a little bit nervous. But it's not where it's the problem. It's actually good for me because I'm nervous about me performing to the best of my ability. That's what I get nervous about, and showing the people what I can do, and giving them the best image. That's what I
Mm.
get nervous about. So I'd say yes, but only a little bit. But I think it's good to be. That means you care.
Exactly, exactly. But let me tell you, you put your heart and soul into that performance. Everybody loved it. Everyone, all of us guys at the back were vibing and bopping along as well. So, alongside festivals, I've been seeing that you've been going to a few ciphers. I've been seeing you've gone to a few rap battles. So, do you have any of those planned for the rest of February, March, April, May?
So what I do is every month I try to go to Dagenham because there's a cipher that we do. It's like old school grime settings. We have a DJ, getting wheel ups, people rapping, passing the mic around. It's a great vibe. So I try and do that every month. And in terms of other events, I like open mics. I've started going to the spoken word one as well. That's quite good.
Mm.
Yeah, I try to go to as many events as possible. I used to go to one every day, but I can't do that anymore. That's it's not
Yeah, it's a
sustainable.
lot. Now, with that, I want to ask you. I like to ask this question to everybody because it gets their brains thinking, it gets their minds boggling. So, I want to ask. I want you to give me three festivals that you'd like to perform at, and three artists that you'd like to collab with.
It's a good question. I'll do the festivals first. So festivals, to be honest, I'd love to do Godiva again because I was just
Mm.
sick. So I'd pick
Yeah,
that one. And it's a comedy festival. It's part of our identity, I believe. So I'll definitely
yeah,
pick that one. And
mm,
mm, I'd want to go somewhere out of the UK, to be honest.
yeah.
I don't really know the names of festivals outside the UK.
Mm.
But I'd want to pick one outside the UK. And Glastonbury would be really good. That'd be
That would be
amazing.
amazing. That would be amazing.
It'll be those two and then one from somewhere else. Maybe, yeah, France, Germany, somewhere like that.
Shall I tell you one where I could see you actually performing? Rolling Loud in Portugal.
Rolling Loud.
Rolling Loud in Portugal. 100%. 100%.
That'd be awesome, man.
That would be fantastic. So with that, do you actually get to collab a lot with different artists?
That's a good question, to be honest. But at the moment, I'm working with a lot of musicians. So singers, electric guitar, bass guitar, sax, trumpet, those sort of things. Because I'm trying to make more music where all of the instruments on the instrumental are live. I think it
Ah,
just gives
yeah.
a vibe. So I'll be doing that a lot more. I do work with rappers, but not as much as I should, to be honest. Not as much as
Now, with you working with a lot of musicians and working with lots of different artists, you said, can you actually play any instruments, or would you like to play any instruments if you could?
I'll be honest, I don't think I have that. Obviously, I could learn, but at the moment, I don't play any instruments, if I'm honest.
Mm.
Yeah. It'll be cool to learn
I
it, but it's difficult to balance everything. That's the main problem.
Yeah, yeah. What I do, I would 100% suggest for you to go and learn how to play the piano, because that will come in so handy with music production, music making. Because if you think of a little melody, you can easily just implement that into a software, and then there's your next track in it.
It's true.
Yeah. Well, T.Fewdo, thank you so much for coming on the first episode of the new season. Thank you so much.
No, thank you, man. I've just got to thank you for bringing me on. I appreciate it a
Of
lot.
course. And lastly, do you have any different social media pages you want to shout out? You want to shout out your Spotify? You want to shout out your YouTube?
Yeah, of course. So, in terms of social media, I just use Instagram for
Mm.
promoting content. So my Instagram is T_Fewdo, which is FEDWDO, and I've got my official YouTube account as the big channels don't really want to promote what I'm doing, which is fine. So I just
Yeah.
my own thing, which it is what it is. So I've
Mm.
got my YouTube, which is TFEWDO again, T_Fewdo. If you search that, it should come up straight away. And my Spotify, again, T.Fewdo. If you just type it in, then you'll be able to find that as well. And I'm trying to release one song at least every 8 weeks. I'm doing one a month for now, and then I'll probably do once every 8 weeks. So I'm trying to be as consistent as possible.
That's what I like to hear. Consistency is key. Well, once again, T.Fewdo, thank you so much for coming on. And if you would like to be in the next episode of Jude Interview, the link is in the bio. It's on my main page, how to get involved. I'll see you next time. It's a goodbye from me, Jude.
Goodbye for me, T.Fewdo. Thank you very much.
I'll see you next time. Bye-bye for now.